Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor. The voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time. And SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
And here we are. We're now live on another episode of the Wicked Horror Show, powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. And as always, we have Kevin. What's going on, everybody? Tony.
What is going on, people?
Yo, yo.
Hey, everybody.
Tony, would you like to introduce our awesome guest this evening?
I sure would. So he was in Terrifier, soon to be Terrifier 2, Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
We're doing
Awesome.
good.
It's awesome to have you back for sure. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it has been.
I don't know. I don't know if it was on the Hush Hush like last time you were on the show. I don't even know if you started filming or anything. I know we've talked to some other people that were involved since, but yeah, this is highly anticipated, I'm sure. How long has this been going on for that you guys had it kind of hush hush?
Oh God, I'm like we started like well, I originally read the script back in like January of last year, so it's been about that long. So
wow.
January 2019. So I'm like, oh man, we started filming last October too. So it's almost been a year since we started filming.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when it must have been since we saw you at you guys must have already been filming when we saw you at the convention and stuff too. So it must have been really tough to not just want to talk about it.
It is. It's still hard. There's so much I want to talk about.
If you feel like you want to talk about it, just whatever you need to say.
Breaking news on the Dorkening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the good thing is you've seen a few things now in the teaser trailer, so I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, so I can at least talk about that.
Yeah. The one thing that we don't see in the teaser trailer that I'm excited about is that Felissa Rose is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. I know she's like a big fan of you guys, and
yeah.
When I'm wondering if she knew, or I'm sure she knew at the last con that we were at and that you were at and she was at. And again, no one was talking about it, but she must have known at that point.
Oh yeah. She because she filmed her scene, I think last early November.
Oh wow.
So yeah. She's got a fun little cameo in the film. So she's hysterical as always. So it's Felissa. What do you expect?
Oh yeah. And it's she's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
God.
And
yes.
So I get super excited when I see that she's going to be in something that I know is like people are going to have their eyes on it,
Yeah.
And that's, we've touched on it before when you were on the show. So since the last time you were on the show, like they're coming up with an action figure, like there's masks you can buy.
Yeah. It's nuts. I'm so stoked about that action figure. It's Trick or Treat Studios is doing it. And I'm like, that's been like a dream of mine since I was a kid to like have an action figure of myself one day. So it's just like, yes.
Yeah.
So some people want their star on the Walk of Fame and stuff. I want an action figure, man.
Oh, totally. They'd just be lining the walls with them. Like I would I wouldn't buy them all. I would hope that they would give you at least one. But
I hope so.
But yeah,
it's like that's me. Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna shut up for a minute because I know I've just been talking since the show started, so I apologize, guys. I get excited. I do have the trailers for 1 and 2. Do we have permission to show them?
Yeah, sure. I see no problem doing that.
So what we'll do is we'll show you the first trailer for Terrifier, and is this still available? Netflix? Where was it?
It's not on Netflix anymore. We just left Netflix at the beginning of September. We had a 2-year contract with them, so that unfortunately ran out. So it's like, but you can I think you still see it on Shudder, maybe on Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course, you can still buy it too.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Epic Pictures and Dread Central. They had they have the regular one, and then they actually put out a steelbook. I remember that was sought after for a while too. The back cover of that steelbook is kind of ridiculous, but
it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's the trailer for Terrifier.
What if that guy did this to your car?
What guy? The clown? You really think someone slashed my tires?
Well, he knows this is your car. He saw us getting into it earlier.
Hey, handsome! Cut it out. My friend wants your number.
Kill you.
What is it, Tara?
Dawn and I are sort of stranded. She has a flat tire and no spare, and I was kind of hoping you could pick us up. Wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
And I just checked; it is available on Shudder. And if you don't have Shudder, there is a 7-day free trial you can get right now.
And also, if you don't have Shudder, you're crazy because Shudder's fantastic. So it's great.
So you said you always wanted the action figure. Did you always want your face on the cover of it? Like, you know, sometimes with the art, like cover art for films, it's the one thing that kind of draws people into it.
Yeah.
So with Terrifier, it's like, and then this is the steel book. I got the steel. That's the back cover too.
Yeah, it's epic.
It is. But
so surreal.
But it's like okay, now you got an action figure and you're like the front and center thing on Terrifier. Everybody knows you because of that. What is, you know, I'm sure that's just as gratifying too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely so. It's something I never imagined in my life would ever happen. So I'm just like, this is cool.
Especially like when you took Terrifier, like when you did the first Terrifier, it was kind of an expanding from All Hallows Eve. And, you were new to the character of Art the Clown. And, I was reading something where when Terrifier first came out, it wasn't like, obviously everyone's eyes were on it as soon as it hit Netflix, but it was out for a while before it hit Netflix. And so it was kind of like a slow burn. And then all of a sudden it just blew up. And I mean, that's for you, for everyone involved in the movie. I'm sure it was it's crazy. I mean, it's awesome at the same time too. It's kind of like, it's so not overnight. I know it's not overnight, but it seems like that.
Yeah. It was really weird, especially going to conventions and seeing the difference between pre-Netflix and post-Netflix release. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, we still had like the fans coming up to us, before it was on Netflix, but there were so many people walking by and they're like, "What is this?" And then after, everybody's like, "Oh my God, I just saw this."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And part of it too is it's not like a typical clown movie, people, they try to cash in on the whole clown thing, and there's some that are just throwaway movies and other ones are not, and this is one that's not. So, we're super excited for you as well. It's awesome that it's expanding, and I know you can't talk about too much with the new one. What was that?
We can use bleeps. We can hear it. So
I'm not set up for bleeps. I can do.
We can just go bleep, bleep.
There's definitely a higher body count. I can say that.
Nice.
Yeah, and a lot more blood too. Yeah. Oh my God,
so
a lot more.
Bigger budget, obviously, because I mean, I'm assuming because of the success of the first one. Did you get more backers, or do you know if it was like crowdfunded or? It
was basically primarily crowdfunded because we had our original budget and stuff like that, and we did the crowdfunding with the Indiegogo campaign, and our original goal was just $50,000 because we wanted to be able to pay for this the big set piece that we have in the movie. It's about a 10-minute long, huge, crazy crowd scene and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we raised over $200,000, and that was really good for us because one of our backers dropped out at the last minute, like 2 or 3 weeks before we started filming, and he pulled $100,000 out of our budget, that's a big ouch for us. So we luckily had that money from the Indiegogo campaign. If we didn't have that, we would have been so screwed.
Yeah,
and we've put every dime to use in this because movies are not cheap to make. And I mean, we're still not a huge budget film or anything like that. We're still a low budget film, but we have I would say our budgets, because the budget for Terrifier 1 was $50,000. So we made that on $50,000. We have, I would say, probably about a $500,000 budget on this one. So it's so we've been able to do a lot more, and it's because it's with the budget we have such a great production team that is so dedicated, and they're so talented. We're able to pull off miracles with even that kind of budget. It's just, especially with this crowd scene, it's like that was the scene we were so worried about filming, because there's so many things, a lot of stunts and stuff like that go on, and there's so many things that could have gone wrong. We were stressing out, and it's going to take multiple days to film, and it ended up being the most fun scene for us to film in the whole entire movie, I would say. And everything flowed so well that week. It's like, wow, we were stressed. It's the smaller things that have been more complicated for us to film. It's like,
you've been stressing out so much about it. You made it work in your head, and it worked.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks so good. I've gotten to see a rough edit of that scene, and it's just
nice. Now, is the film wrapped, or are you still are you doing like pickups or?
We're almost wrapped. I have one more final kill scene to film at the end of the month. We've kind of had, because of the virus, obviously, we were about 2 weeks away from, basically being done with the film when we had to go into lockdown here in New York State. So that sucked, being so close to the finish line. But so yeah, we've come back a few times during the summer once they reopened New York to film some stuff, but we've had to wait for some of it because it's been so hot. Yeah. And like the last time I tried filming, we had to do all my facial shots first because I was sweating so much that my makeup just started to fall off my face. So we're like, we got to wait till it cools down some, because we don't. this scene's got to be perfect. So we can't have any of those kind of things happening while we're filming this, because this is like one of the kill scenes, so we're hoping it's going to rival the hacksaw scene in the first film. So yeah, we already started filming part of the scene that didn't need the prosthetics back in like February, and that was already just the beginning parts of the scene were enough to make one of our crew members have to leave set because he was getting nauseous.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, oh wow, we haven't even started yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just like I can only imagine what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, because Damien's taken. That's been actually the kind of good thing that's happened with this whole pandemic. It's given Damien more time to prep this scene and another scene that we filmed earlier this summer. That we're like, we already had it written one way, but he took this extra time. Like, well, let's. Bat for the fences right now and just go full on out. Now I got more time to really build the prosthetics and everything. So he's fleshed out these kills even more so. So it's just like, oh boy.
Plus with the whole pandemic, it could be a blessing and a curse, because, as much as I don't like waiting for stuff, I mean, once, everybody knows it was getting filmed or whatever, then that trailer hit. And when Terrifier blew up, everybody was talking about it, but then that trailer hit, and it was like a wave of people. Oh, did you see it? So I guess with the wait, with whatever, once that little teaser trailer hit, then it's like, okay, now I'm that much more excited. So maybe it could be, like I said, a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, definitely is, because we originally wanted the film to come out this October, but because of the stupid virus, that's when you can't finish filming, you can't finish editing, and you can't get it out to distribution and stuff like that. So we're hoping to get it out sometime early next year. I think Damien's even talking about doing a road show with it. So kind of like what Kevin Smith did with Jay and Silent Bob recently.
Nice.
So yeah, which would be fun. So that way, it depends on how the pandemic is and stuff like that too. Because it was I think that would be a fun way for a lot of us in the cast to travel throughout the U.S. and meet the fans and everything, get to watch the movie with them and stuff like that. Do some Q&A.
That'd be awesome if you come to my area. I'm on board. I'm totally,
it'd be fun. Yeah. Oh my god! Because this is definitely going to be one of those films you want to see with a big group of people.
Yeah. I would love to see, like, I would love to have seen the first one in the theater. That would have been.
That was an experience. It was like, especially like the first screening I went to we did it at Lincoln Center here in New York. And that's before people knew what I really looked like. So I was able to sit in the audience around all these people. Like my friends knew who I was, of course, but like no one else sitting around me knew who I was. So I got to hear the genuine reactions. And like for instance, like the gun scene when I killed Jenna with the gun. The different reactions you heard go out through the audience were just amazing. You hear some people would like just scream because they got scared. Other people screamed because they were like, "What the fuck?" Holy, they did not see that coming. Other people got pissed off that we did that. There were so many different reactions happening at once. It was just a wonderful moment.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's one of the positive things about the prosthetics and everything is you can kind of hide in the, like, big fans of the movie are gonna know who you are because they go to the con and stuff like that. But all these other people have no clue, and it's pretty awesome.
That's what makes it fun because you hear the genuine reactions. They're not trying to go like censor themselves because they know who they're sitting next to or something like that. So that's what I enjoyed about it. It's like I remember there was another screening where Catherine and I went to it. It was at a university that we did a screening at in New Jersey, and during the hacksaw scene, like these two girls just walked out of it because they just couldn't handle it. And Catherine and I just high-fived each other like, "Yes, we got him. We got him." We disgusted some people so much that they just had to leave. I was like, "Yes."
That's a big deal. It's tough to do nowadays because there's so much stuff out there. So that's the thing. It's like we got a reaction. That's what we're going for. It's like I don't know how long it's been since I've gone to a horror film and I've been sitting there going, "Oh God." Yeah, I agree 100%. Like there's a lot, and that's why I mentioned like saying that you're stupid if you don't have Shudder, because there's a lot on Shudder that I'm like, holy crap, this is intense. But it comes to a theater, so it would see Terrifier.
But that's the thing with Shudder. I mean, it has some movies that wouldn't make the nowadays. Especially in like the mainstream horror, it's like the same kills, refurbished, and it's almost the same thing. I mean, with Terrifier, I've never seen, especially that one kill. Catherine's scene, I've never seen anything like that. So it's like, okay, that there's so many movies that it's like, okay, I've seen that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But there's other ones where it's like, I've never seen that before in my life. That was very impressive.
That's something Damien challenges himself with because he's, the ultimate horror fan himself. He's got like an encyclopedic knowledge of kill scenes. Right? I will, like back when we were coming up with kills for Terrifier 2, I would suggest things like, "Oh, that was in this movie from back in the 70s that no one's ever heard of." Blah. I'm like, because he doesn't want to imitate anybody. He doesn't want to take someone else's kill unless he's doing something new with it. He doesn't want to just rip off someone else, and he doesn't, and he wants to show the kill. He doesn't want to do like what most movies do, where you see the before and the after. You don't actually see the kill happen. It's like that's one thing that was fun. Like this kill that we filmed earlier this summer, our first kill in the movie. He's like, we got to just go full on out with this. You got to start the movie off with a bang, and you got to end the movie with a bang, because that's what people remember the most. And so he's like, well, let's go crazy with this kill. Let's just throw whatever we have into it. And so we did. And we're filming, and I'm just doing my first blow on my victim, more or less. And Damien just, when we cut, he's like, "Dave, you do realize that would have been a whole entire kill in any of the Friday the 13th movies. Just what we filmed right there. That would have been the whole kill." And it's like, oh, and we got so much more to do with this kill. We took another 3 or 4 days to film the rest of that kill because there's so much other stuff that happens.
Wow.
It's so gross.
That's great, though. I mean, look at other movies like you look at like the Hatchet movies and stuff like that. Like, Adam really is pushing it on a lot of kills and stuff too. That's what makes the movie so good. Yeah,
it's like I'm always thinking of just the face rip and Hatchet. It's just like, God, that's such a well edited kill because it's seamlessly edited with the I love that kill. I love that kill. And just like,
I mean,
and that's what you want to see more of in these movies. I'm tired of just like seeing that the first blow go in and it cuts away and then you see the person dead afterwards. I'm like, that's boring.
I mean, it is, but sometimes if it's
like
very,
budgetary,
very low budget, like they may not
Yeah.
be able to, like it's like they're probably being like, all right, we don't want to do it wrong, so we're just
Yeah.
going to do it this way because that way, you
You can imply it. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
which makes the fact that you said like the first one had even a $50,000 budget, the way it looked, that makes it even more impressive because there's some people that say, oh, they have this, and you watch it and it's like implied death, the gore, and it's like, okay, you see the blood splatter everywhere. You're like, okay, I can imagine what I see, but especially in the first one, it's like I don't have to
You see
imagine
it.
because I see everything.
That's Damien's talent right there. That's his bread and butter. He is Mr. Special Effects, and he's self-taught. He was, basically just watched a lot of Savini and like learned from watching him. And he's like, okay, I want to do this. And he self-taught himself how to do all this stuff. And he's old school. He does the blood pumps just like Savini did. And I mean, we're still like so many of our kills in the movie. We have all of our crew members on the side with their blood tubes and ready to either like pump it or right into it to get the blood. So not only am I getting covered in blood, everybody else on set is getting covered in blood too. It's just, but it looks great. I love it, and but it's also helped save money because Damien does it himself. He's not having to hire other people to come and do it. I mean, he wants to. It would make his job a lot easier. And we actually had some people that were supposed to help him out originally, and they bailed too at the last minute. So it's just like, But that's a testament to his talent. It's just not him; it's everybody involved. Everybody's so dedicated. Like a great example of this is like this one important, like a lot. This one room is seen in a lot of scenes, and it's our heroine's bedroom. And it was the day before we're supposed to film, and we go into the room, and there's nothing. It's not even the walls aren't even finished painted, and I was like, I almost started, even though I had nothing to do with that scene that day, I was starting to panic because I'm like, oh my God, how are they going to be prepared to film this tomorrow? There's nothing in here. And two of our crew members, Jackie and Olga, stayed up all night decorating that room, painting it and decorating it. And I go in the next day and it looked amazing. And it's like small little details they put in all the set pieces. It looked like someone that, is because our main character is basically a cosplayer as well. So she has her little cosplay station where she's making her costume and stuff like that. And it's just the small little details in this. I was like, you did all of this in less than 24 hours. Just basically two people working their butts off. So they weren't even on set that day. They just went and slept for the rest of the day. It's like, you ladies deserve it. You go rest. You pulled off a freaking miracle.
That's awesome.
But that's how everybody's been on this. It's just like everybody has put their 110% into it, and it's paying off.
Nice. Now you had mentioned how Damien is self-taught, and he watched Savini stuff and whatever. Just out of curiosity, because I know Savini does a lot of the cons and stuff too. Has there ever been any interaction? Like, do you know if like Savini's seen the movie or anything?
Yes. Our very first convention we went to, because that's like, Savini is Damien's idol. So like Damien actually made a little Funko, one of his first Funko figures, and gave it to Savini, signed it and everything. It's like, this is all because of you. And he's like, he brought a copy of I think Fangoria or something like that for him, where there was an article about us. And I just want you to know I'm where I am because of you and stuff like that. And I was at a convention earlier this year with Savini, and I got to talk to him some and his assistant. And like that little Funko figure is sitting on top of his entertainment station, and he's watched the movie and he loves it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going to break in here for a quick second because we also have the teaser, if you missed it, for Terrifier 2. But, this show is all about supporting indie artists, indie filmmakers, and, indie businesses as well. And so our sponsor is Deadly Grounds Coffee. They're a local coffee shop here in Connecticut. And they, little mom and pop shop. They make the best coffee you'll ever have. And you know what? Here's a zombie talking about coffee.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for, and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And a bunch of comments have been coming in for David, and some of the ones that I did not show on screen. So over on another forum, Exploding Waterbed says, I love Art the Clown. Anichian Blade says, I saw Terrifier, not expecting anything, and it's in my top 5 slashes for me now. Crazy and brutal. Art the Clown is fucking terrifying. Thank you. If you haven't seen it, here's a quick tease of Terrifier 2.
So what are your plans tomorrow?
Meg and Melanie's throwing a Halloween party.
You think that guy's still out there?
What's up with you and this clown all of a sudden? You're like obsessed.
They never found his body. What if he decides to come back here?
I wouldn't worry about it. On the off chance that he is still alive, I'm sure he's gone far away from here.
I can't wait.
I never get tired of seeing that trailer. I love it. It's
the first one, like the production quality seemed like higher than $50,000, but you know, it looks really good. And then this one looks even better. Like the production, it just, I don't know. It's gonna be a really good time. I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for you guys too. I think it's great. And it's, you know, it's almost like the little engine that could kind of deal. Like it's as it goes better, like all these people that were fans of it at the beginning, and I only saw it when it came on Netflix. So other people that were on board beforehand, it's probably just like, oh, that's my kid is going to college, you know. It's almost like what if you know, you feel like a little like I'm so proud of them, you know, kind of deal. But I don't know.
I know. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
Everybody's been amazing in this thing.
Yeah.
I know before Sergio was talking about, you know, his fear of clowns back then, and Kevin harped on it, how there's different clown movies and such. You know, you have Pennywise that's more animated and stuff, and, you know, Papa Corn and all this stuff. And it's just one thing that I must say, you portraying Art, you don't say a word. And that's the creepiest version of like if you ever fear clowns, just someone sitting there, not saying a word, not trying to like, you know, cheer you up, just sitting there and staring and stuff. You know, did you add a little wrinkle into this, into number 2, or are you trying to play it the same way, or?
I've added a little bit more of an extra wrinkle to him, because I would say he's a little bit more confident in himself now, because he's come back from the dead. So he's like, he realizes he's a little bit more powerful than he thought he was. So it's like, and he
about empowerment.
Yeah, he's definitely more empowered. So he's a little bit more cocky and arrogant, I would say too. So, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. But he's still Art. He's still Art. But it's not just focused on him either. It's also you know, he's front and center, of course, so you don't worry about that. But it's also like, it's more our new protagonist's story than it is his story this time around. It's Sienna. It's just this awesome character. I just love. You see her, of course, in the trailer. Her and her brother and her mom. This family dynamic they have is fantastic in this. But I mean, she ends up being this very, you know, Sarah Connor, Ellen Ripley type character, and it's like, because you need someone that's a little bit, you know, fucked up in the head and a little bit badass to be able to go up against Art the Clown. You can't have someone that's going to be cowering in a corner somewhere.
Right. We can.
So not me.
Those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones that aren't going to survive. So that's mean, I don't know what happens with Sienna. I don't know if she survives. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have like a, the Nancy of the, like from Elm Street, like the one person who kind of is like, no, you don't understand. This person is this, whatever. Then like, let's hope that there's even more. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a third one.
Oh, but that's what we're hoping. We're
Nice.
hoping. Yeah, we got ideas for a third one. So it's
Nice.
I think Damien's always had like a trilogy in mind for the character, so that's what we want to do. It's like I think this is really setting things up for a third one, which is because I know there's like this the beginning of the third film. What we want to be the beginning of the third film was supposed to be in part 2, but we're like, oh, that would just make the movie to be way too long. So we're like, okay, we'll just make that the beginning in part 3.
Nice. So, do you have any idea how long the movie's gonna be?
Yeah, it's probably about 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and like he might have to make a few cuts here or there because he says it's definitely longer than the first one. So I think he says right now it's running about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So he might have to trim some things. But I'm like, I don't think people would really be complaining if it was that long.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah, as long as it's quality, I don't care.
Yeah, and that's what the thing is. It's so entertaining. I think this script blows the first film out of the water, especially story wise. It's definitely more of a narrative story this time around, but it's just more fun. Everything's bigger, better, ballsier, bolder, bloodier, everything like that. So
a lot of bees. There's a lot of bees in there.
Yep. I like alliteration.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of off subject of Terrifier 2. Just curious because you are a working actor, and so with everything that's going on with the whole pandemic, have you been able to keep busy otherwise?
Not as much as I wanted to because, this pandemic has really shut down the entertainment industry in a lot of ways, which has sucked. But I've been able to do some voiceover work here or there, so that's been good. I can't really talk about those right now because of NDAs and stuff like that. But I've been able to work when I can. But I've definitely missed being able to, really work and especially also do conventions as well because that's part of my bread and butter right there. Is just doing conventions and
even before that, right?
Yeah.
Before you were a cosplayer yourself, So yeah, it's crazy. Like even looking at that, you're very talented, obviously, and it's weird that you're talented as a voiceover actor as well. And then the one character that you're like blowing up for doesn't say a word.
That's the irony of the situation. You gotta love it. It's like, I'm known for being silent, but I do like over 200 voices. It's like, what? Okay, cool.
but still, though, I mean, there's also something to be said, like, for being able to act as much as you're doing without being able to communicate verbally. So that's a plus right there. It's another talent that I don't think anyone in this room has, except for you. So.
I'll take it, and I can't throw a baseball and hit a baseball to save my life. So it's like I look at it as everybody's got their special skills. You just got to figure out what yours is and find a way to capitalize off of it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to figure out mine is. It's been almost 45 years, so we'll see. But
you never know.
Yeah, you're right. I never know what it is.
Little comment from Sergio there.
He's wrong.
I know.
I'm the worst. When is the worst?
Aww.
It's true. I have a t-shirt that says I'm the worst and everything.
Oh,
he promotes it.
It's one of the other shows I'm on. It's like that's how I'm introduced. I'm the worst.
It should be a little sausage, and it could be the worst.
Yeah, nice.
The worst. Yeah.
There's a Kevin is the worst, and I'm the worst shirt. And but anyway.
So I must say that I don't know. Well, of course, Netflix was might have been one of the bigger contributors to it blowing up. But then you had others like celebrities, because I know following I'm a wrestling fan, and following Chris Jericho, I think he helped promote that thing a lot as well. So seeing different people, and I'm sure having Felissa on this time is going to be I don't know if she asked to be on or they made a part for her or whatever, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that are helping push this one as well. But like when I saw Chris Jericho, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we watch horror movies, but now literally Terrifier. You get Art the Clowns all over his Instagram and stuff. It's like
it's crazy.
It is pretty crazy. There's that Reface app that everyone's addicted to, like myself, and just going through and like your GIF will come up, like it's just
really
there. Yeah.
Wow.
But it doesn't really work on your face, but it works on your victim's face. So
oh well, as you do.
But that's weird. The fact that there is GIFs and stuff like that, like people like have thought to be like, I'm going to make a GIF.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, in talking about the fame of the first movie and how it exploded, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you that you didn't realize would happen since the movie's success?
Oh God! I mean, I think like one of those, of course, was at Jericho, and like that was insane. Where he comes up to me at a convention and like he's like, hey man, you want to be on my podcast? I'm like, oh, you know who I am. But like just finding out, like one of the insane things for me was finding out other people that I have respected and loved in the industry for years, grew up watching, finding out that they were fans, like Doug Jones and stuff like that. It's like they had seen my work. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's been amazing. That's like what? Whoa, that's awesome. But I mean, I think another one has just been seeing like this, like the abundance of like tattoos that people are getting. It's like it's almost a daily occurrence for someone sending me a tattoo that they've done of Art the Clown, and I've actually signed a few, and then people have gotten the signature tattooed to them as well. I'm like, this is crazy. And now because of the trailer, some people have now, and I'm so excited for Lauren Lavera, our female lead in this. I'm like, people have started getting her tattooed even before the movie comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Someone's willing to commit like her face to their body before the movie, for life, before the movie comes out. They're just that confident, that excited about the film. I'm like, that's really cool.
That also tells you something, though. That tells you like it's going to be like a cult classic, it's something that it's going to end up being the next, Jason or whatever. So it's going to be the franchise that people like. When I was a kid, I would watch Art the Clown, and he cut this lady in half, and now you're watching someone play Pogs. I don't know where I was going.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where they're going to go in the future, though? But like, that's how I was watching a little documentary on 80s slashers last night on YouTube, and that's one of the things I was thinking about. It's like, it's like you look how Halloween inspired all these other slashers back in the 80s. That whole resurgence. I'm hoping like we will inspire a whole resurgence of slashers and people doing new things with them. And that's what I'm hoping.
The envelope, pushing. Like people like taking the risk, because again, going back to Shudder, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing that's like a little like on the crazier side, a lot of it's foreign movies, and so it seems like for some reason American movies are just being like, we can't do that, we can't get away with that, but no, you can do it. Like people will watch it. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see the same old stuff over and over again.
That's why you got to look for the independent stuff. Anything that's like the bigger budget stuff is watered down or like a remake or something along those lines. It's you gotta, some of it with like we were harping on that Hatchet. I think Hatchet and Terrifier are going to be this new wave of, if you're looking for the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Streets and stuff like that. That's of the 80s and 90s. I think of the 2000s, it's going to be like the Hatchets, the Terrifiers, this new age of that wasn't even supposed to be there. I mean, you look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that was, more of a low budget thing, and that's become, a cult hit. So I don't think they're going to be looking for the, the bigger budget stuff. They're going to be looking at this, independent wave.
But that's how the original slashers were too. They were all independent films before they became big franchises. Nightmare on Elm Street was an independent film, or several films actually. And it's the same thing with Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween. They were all independent films starting out.
Yeah. Someone mentioned Trauma in the chat. Yeah, so Trauma, they do some. I mean, obviously they push the envelope. They have Shakespeare Shitstorm's coming out soon, and I definitely want to check that out. I don't know if have you ever been involved with Trauma, or are you a fan of Trauma stuff?
I have not been involved with him, but yeah, I am a fan. I mean, I remember back in the days before I could actually watch the Trauma films. I was watching Toxic Crusaders, the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
I had the action figures and everything. So I remember then going to the movie gallery or whatever the store was at the time and seeing Toxic Crusader, Toxic Avenger, I mean, on the shelves. I'm like, oh my God. And I talked my mom into renting it because I thought it was like the cartoon. I'm like, oh, oh my God, what am I watching?
Yeah.
I was like fifth grade at the time. I was like, oh my God, I can't let my mom know I watched this.
Pretty much everything they do is in New York, so I'm sure you could probably sneak onto set.
Oh yeah. I've met Lloyd a few times.
Lloyd Kaufman's, his wife is like the New York Film Commissioner or something like that. Like she's up there. So
oh yeah, and Lloyd's great. He's such a great guy, such a character too. Oh my God.
Oh my God. We've had him on, what is it, like 3 times, guys?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like he's
good old Uncle Lloyd.
Oh my God. He'll like have a doll and be like, oh, Taylor Swift is here, and he'll be playing with the doll. Like on the
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. He's exactly as you would imagine him to be, and that's what I love about it. But that's the thing. It's like it's these independent films. It's like they're the ones doing the new things because they don't have to worry about the studio system coming down on them and saying you can't do this, you can't do that. And we've even encountered that with Terrifier. It's like when we were the first film when we were shopping around to distribution, we had some studios that wanted to take us and put us in movie theaters nationwide. But they wanted to make big cuts to it, like the hacksaw scene. They wanted to basically cut most of that scene out, and we're like, no, you can't do that. That's going to be what sells the movie.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. And I'm glad Damien stuck to his guns. And we had the same problem with Terrifier 2. We had a certain studio, which I can't name, but they've been. I think we dodged a big bullet with that one because some stuff that's happened with the studio recently, but they wanted to take most of creative control over the film and future films, and Damien was like, absolutely not. And they didn't want to give us the money we wanted either. So it's like, no, you if you want to have that kind of control, you got to give us the budget we want for this. But they wanted most of the control and not the money we wanted. So it was like, nope. And I'm glad we went the route we did because I think we've been able to pull off what we wanted to pull off instead of what a studio wants us to pull off.
Yeah.
So we're doing this for the fans.
Just trust the artist.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, how
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That was my fault.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
You guys
No,
yo.
Ladies, please, no fighting.
Like I said, they should trust the artist. Like, if you're going to come to an artist because of their work and you're like, yeah, I enjoy your work, let's work together, you should trust that artist knows what they're doing with their work, and just like, we're gonna support you. That should be their only goal. There is to support that artist in what they're doing. If it's going to be profitable for them, to just trust them.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
All I was gonna say was, I mean, how big the movie it got by itself. Like, you must know, I mean, the way it was is what brought the people in. It's not like, okay, well, someone else, put their own magic on it and it made it huge. You guys did it your way, and that's what made the success.
Yeah, so, the movie sold itself. We didn't have to have a big, huge publicity campaign like most films do, where they overhype it so people come to it. We exploded because people actually liked the movie.
Yep. And they liked the cover or the thumbnail that was on Netflix because they're like, what the hell is that? Let me click on it. And like, holy crap. Like, even the trailer or whatever, like, that would play on Netflix, it sold it.
So good. Listen,
yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing is, if you're through, you see that, you're not going to just be like, whatever. You're going to look at it like, what the hell is going on? I am terrified. Hence the name of the movie.
Yes. And you will find out why it's called Terrifier in Terrifier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very simple. You're going to be like,
I'm terrified.
But it's one of those things, too, if they wanted to, I mean, I think it's also, word of mouth, too. Oh, my God, I saw this movie, and, talking about the hacksaw scene. It's like, if that wasn't in it, who's going to be talking? I'm sure that's one of the major. Probably people talk about kills in this scene and the hatchet scene where the face rip. I remember seeing it on a video, and I'm just like, I've never seen anything like. I didn't know the movie beforehand. I'm like, I got to look this film up. And then the hacksaw scene too. I'm sure people have seen it, and they're like, I got to see this thing. If you kind of dumb it down, people are going to be like,
It's one thing to tell people what happens in that scene, but then they see it themselves and are like, oh my God. I mean, it was even for me, like when I read it in the script, I thought I read it, I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. And I automatically seen it, okay, it was going to be like most films where you just see the before and after. And I asked Damien, he's like, oh no, we're going to actually show that. I'm like, oh my God, really? That's awesome. But even in my head, it wasn't what I expected. And it came out better than what was in my head. I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. This is insane. I love it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we loved it too. So that's we're happy for you. Who put that comment that I'm a whole snack?
Just as Facebook users, so they do not have a StreamYard account. Or they
find out who you are, and I'm gonna come to your house.
Or they did not like StreamYard.
With your whole snack?
Yeah, with my whole
not a
snack.
half snack, but a whole snack.
I was gonna say, if you guys are still
I
filming,
found out who it was.
Yeah, you find out who it was.
Yep, it's Angel.
Oh, Angel. I was gonna say, if you guys are in the need of a bunch of loose skin, let me know. I've lost 125 pounds over the last year, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got plenty of it.
I can't really say, but we might.
Well, hit me up. Use my face.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Anyways,
we're getting close to the time where
we are, and you did have a special question. Did you want to ask that now?
Yeah. So we're doing a thing for Secret Underground Hideout Black and White Fright Halloween special. So I'm just asking if you could, maybe just introduce yourself and say what your favorite Halloween costume as a child was and your favorite candy. You don't have to go too crazy. Just what it is.
Cool. Hi, I'm David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown himself. My favorite Halloween costume when I was a kid, I would say, was my own creation I came up with, because I had this one year where I couldn't decide what I wanted to be. If I wanted to be a ghost or a werewolf. So I made myself into a ghost werewolf, where I had the body of a ghost and the head of a werewolf. And I was so excited about that costume, and I had fun scaring people. I actually scared people all over my neighborhood, and I loved that costume. So that was my favorite costume. Had a lot of good ones too, like a mummy and a Ninja Turtle, but that was my favorite. As for my favorite candy, I would say it was probably a rarity that I got this, but I was always happy when I got it. Is when I got the 100 grand bars. I was like, yes, those are Twix, but 100 gram had everything I wanted in a candy bar. So that was my favorite one. Nice. It's delicious.
Thank you.
But it was also, you got those houses that gave away those big, gigantic candy bars, and then there's a line out the door. Then
And then I had my backdoor neighbor for a while who was a dentist, so he gave out an apple and a toothbrush. And I never wanted to go, but we had to go because he was my neighbor. So it was like, but everybody would avoid his house.
The next morning, his whole front yard is just covered in apples and toothbrushes.
Oh, yeah. It's like, screw this.
His gas tank is filled with apples and toothbrushes.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, we should probably get to the point where we're doing the plugs there, Leo, huh?
Yeah, we should. Well, I want to thank you all for watching this fine evening. And if you want to learn more about David, there's a bunch of information down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Also for the geeks as well, the other dorks on the show. But David, where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
I'd say it's easier to interact with me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm under my whole name on there, David Howard Thornton. But I also have a Cameo page because of the pandemic right now, where I've been doing a lot of videos for people for birthdays and stuff like that. So you can find me on Cameo as well for at David H. Thornton, I believe. Yeah.
Do you do them as Art the Clown ever?
I sometimes wear my mask, my Trick or Treat Studios mask. Mm-hmm. But I do talk because I'm like, well, I can't really do a Cameo video with.
Just hold up a sign and beep a horn.
Yeah, I don't want to waste a lot of paper that way too. So I'm like, oh,
That's
screw
true,
it.
yeah.
I basically do my Joker, like a variation of my Joker voice and
nice.
Art the Clown mask. I have fun with it. I was like, yeah. I asked Damien's permission. He's like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
That's awesome.
And I have a link for your Cameo in the show notes as well. So definitely give it a try. Cameo's been blowing up. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I charge what I do for an autograph at a convention too. I charge like 30 on there.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was just like, I feel bad because there's a lot of these people that they don't get to interact with their fans, but then they have things like Cameo, so that's pretty great.
I don't want people to spend an arm and a leg just to get a 2 or 3 minute long video from me. And I know some people charge like over $100 for those. I'm like, that just doesn't feel right.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't do them.
Yo.
Yep. Boy Meets Phone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm sorry because I'm pretty quiet on there. Yo Saint Laurent on those same social media channels, and of course you can find me here.
Tony.
You can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You'll see on my channel. Tony Has 9 Fingers on Twitter. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Dorkening every Tuesday. Well, not every Tuesday, but most Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Anacle on Twitter and Instagram. Same deal. My Twitter is non-existent, so I don't even know why I say it. Here every Tuesday night, most Tuesday nights. I'm also doing reviews with the 13th Wolfman over on the audio side, and I'm part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the network. Leo.
Yeah, and for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not, but more importantly, follow our awesome guests here, and also the other dorks as well. And head on over to thedorkening.com, which you can find all the shows on the network. And with that, we'll catch you guys later.
Good
Bye.
night, everyone. Peace.
Hey.